making phonemic awareness hands-on. And hands-on is what I love to talk about. There is an activity guide that is going to go over a lot of these skills. So don't try to like rush and take notes and take screenshots. I will have the step-by-step of all of these activities to show you towards the end. So I know that phonemic awareness instruction can seem a little boring, but when we add in some hands-on learning ideas, students will be more engaged and retain better. Because I know when you're sitting there and the kids are sitting on the floor and you're repeating it, it's almost like you're a drill sergeant, and it can get kind of boring if that's all you do. But if you start adding in these hand motions and then adding in some of these new activities I'm going to show you, it will just make it so much better. So here are my favorite hands-on phonemic awareness ideas. And remember, you can download that. I'm going to add it at the end so that way you can see me in action. Okay, so the first one, another hand motion. I feel like I have a lot of these that I'm sharing with you today. But I like doing this blending down this slide. And what I do is I just put my arm out, I point to my shoulder and say the first sound, s, then elbow, and then wrist, n, and then I tell them we're going to slide down the slide and say the word sun. Then you can go faster. Sun, sun. Just another way you can do it. I always like sharing this one. All right, hands-on activities for blending practice. So first, we're going to talk about more of the phonemic awareness side, and then how you can make it towards the phonics side. So adding in the words and the actual like visuals. So first, I love using fun tactile objects to show blending. Two examples that I have are toy cars. So I just make like a little washi tape Elkin box, and you push the car up for each one. I know my son, he's only 3, but he's going to love that when we do it. He's like really into cars. And then poppets are huge now. I wish we had them when I was like really teaching phonemic awareness because it's so tactile. They can press in each little poppet as they say the sound. If you have a really cool tactile object like this that you blend with, let me know in the chat because I always like to hear new ideas. But you can do the same thing with bingo markers, Play-Doh, etc. This is really good for small group instruction. You can do the poppets. I've seen teachers that have the whole class has the poppet thing, and as they're doing the phonemic awareness lesson, they're popping to blend. So that's really cool. Okay, and now some games. So this could go with your whole group lesson. One of the games I like to do is listen and draw. So this is only going to work with certain words like cat, dog, sun, like words that they can draw. It's not going to work with really tricky words. But what you're going to do is you're going to say 3 sounds like d, ah, g. And then you're going to have them whisper, repeat it to themselves. And then they draw a dog on their whiteboard or paper. And then they hold it up and you can check on it. It's just a little fun extra thing. I would only do maybe 1 or 2 words with this just because it takes them a long time to draw. And then an I Spy game, you can use this in so many ways. If you have picture cards from like any picture sorts, like a short vowel picture sort or beginning sound picture sort, this is great to use it with. I would just put the cards out. I would say the 3 sounds, n, t, and then they would have to come up and they'd have to point to the picture. And then the Elkin boxes and Play-Doh. This is where you can add phonics in. You can do this without the flashcard and just like really work on the oral part, or you can have the flashcard there and they press in the Play-Doh as they say each sound. So hands-on spelling practice. Okay, so we could use tactile objects to show the stretching or breaking apart of the word. So just like I showed you the slinky one, you can use an elastic band. I would do this in a small group just because I can totally see it going like crazy with a whole group. Another one I like to use is unifix cubes. They're not just for math. I would put 3 together and they would have to pull apart each sound as they say it. And then bingo dabbers or dot markers, whatever you call them. This is really great to turn into a dictation routine. So what you do is you say the 3 sounds, they dab the sounds, And then they can, if you want to incorporate phonics, you can write the sounds above each dot. This is really great for when they are doing longer words with like 4 or 5 phonemes, so like words with blends or long vowels, because it really shows them how many sounds there are, so they're not forgetting one of the sounds. And then again, with the phonics, you can spell using magnetic letters, or you can do write and wipe, which was like my absolute go-to activity. I didn't have a lesson plan. We did write and wipe. And pretty much what you do is you say the 3 sounds. I would have them either do a dot or like a little line for each one that they heard, and then they would have to say the sounds again and write the letter as they go. So same thing with the spelling or magnetic letters. If you have the mini whiteboards, this is a great activity to do. Super highly engaging. I recommend it for every subject because it's really easy to have them write it, and then you can easily check it. They just hold it up. And then hands-on activities for manipulation practice. So I will say I was working with my daughter the other day, and she was struggling with phoneme manipulation. We were deleting a sound from a word, and I took a sticky note. I took 3 sticky notes. I wrote 3 letters, or 1 letter on each one, and then I literally crumpled it up and I threw it away, the one sound that I wanted her to get rid of, and she got it. Sometimes with manipulation, you have to show them visually for them to understand, and that's okay. Don't think that you have to have it orally before you can add in those visuals. So one of the games I like to do is just a silly sounds game. You sit in a circle, and you can do this with any word. So you could start with Matt, and then they would have to change the first sound in the word to make a new word, and you can try to make it as silly as possible. So they're going to be nonsense words. So they might say like quat or dat. It's a really fun game. The next one is bingo counter. So the same thing with the visually like seeing to understand that taking out sounds or replacing them. You can use 3 different counters. You can make one a different color, and you can show them exactly how to switch them out and say the sounds, or how to add one, or how to throw it away. You can pretend like you're throwing away the counter, and it just kind of shows them, okay, this is what we're supposed to do. And then playing with letters. One of the best center activities, if you don't know what to do, or a small group activity, is just to throw out magnetic letters at them and have them make words. It's really fun, and it shows them that they can move around the letters. Sometimes they don't understand that you can move around letters. So it's just a great way to play with letters and make new words. You could set up at, and then you could have them write in different words to try to make as many words as they can. You can make it a game, a challenge, or whatnot. And then sticky notes. So love using these sticky notes. I would make the box and have a sticky note in each one. We would practice different skills. So substituting, I might say the word sat, change the a to eh. What does it make? And they can actually change it and then say it, set. So this helps with the student isn't really grasping the concept when you're doing it orally. Sometimes it helps showing the visuals, because by this point they have that letter sound knowledge. So it's okay to like combine it together. So I know that was a lot of hands-on activities. I have all of those in the guide. So you can print it out, you can keep it in your binder, so you can always access it and easily come up with some fun activities. There's a couple more in there as well, but I want you to tell me one hands-on activity that you can try with your next phonemic awareness lesson. So what's one thing that you're like, oh, I gotta try that? Just let me know in the chat. I love seeing what you guys want to do. I know sometimes I'll get like an email after I do one of these, and they're like, oh, I tried this idea that you had and my kids loved it. We're going to play this game every time we have to do this. So, okay, lots of write and wipes. Yes, that is like my go-to. Tactile objects to blend. The cubes are great. Yes, you can do segmentation with cards. You can pull them back. Listen and draw. Pop-ups. Yep. And see, and that's just a couple different activities that I gave you. You've got about, I think that was like 15 activities that you can try, and a lot of them you can use with each one. So